The first crack appeared in the dining room ceiling 3 days after my parents bought this house. I remember standing there, watching my father's face redden as he realized just how much work his retirement dream would need. That was 12 years ago. Now, as I run my hand along the restored crown molding, I can't help but smile at how far we've come. Well, how far I've come. My name is Holly, and I've spent the last decade pouring my heart, soul, and bank account into this sprawling Victorian manor. Every nail, every brushstroke, every replaced floorboard has my fingerprints on it, literally and figuratively. Holly, there you are. My mother Virginia's voice echoes through the foyer. Paris is almost here. Could you check if the champagne is properly chilled? Of course. Heaven forbid Paris arrives without a perfect glass of bubbly waiting. Already done, Mom, I call back, straightening a picture frame that's slightly askew. It's a family photo from 15 years ago. Paris center stage in her graduation gown, me slightly out of focus in the background. Story of my life. The front door swings open, and my sister's laugh fills the house. Oh my God, it looks amazing. Paris twirls in the entrance, her designer boots clicking on the hardwood floors I spent 3 weekends installing. Holly, you've really outdone yourself this time. I accept her air kiss, catching a whiff of her expensive perfume. Thanks. It's been a journey. A journey worth every penny, my father Roland booms, appearing from his study. He's dressed in his Sunday best, which should have been my first clue. Speaking of which, everyone to the dining room. We have something special to celebrate tonight. My heart skips. This is it. After 12 years of managing contractors, juggling permits, and dumping my savings into this place, they're finally going to make it official. The property transfer we've been discussing for months. Paris's new boyfriend Cole arrives last. All white teeth and practiced charm. Beautiful place, Mr. O'Connor. Really spectacular. We gather around the dining table, the one I restored myself after finding it abandoned in the carriage house. My mother brings out her best china, the kind reserved for special occasions. My father uncorks the champagne with flourish, and I catch Paris practically vibrating with excitement. Strange. Why would she be so excited about my moment? A toast, my father announces, raising his glass. To family, to legacy, to dreams coming true. He reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out an envelope. My breath catches. Paris, sweetheart, your mother and I have watched you struggle to find your path. We've seen how hard you've worked on your social media presence, trying to build something of your own. Wait. What? We know you've had a rough year with that nasty breakup, and your lifestyle brand taking longer to monetize than expected. He slides the envelope across the table, to Paris, not me. So we decided it was time to give you the fresh start you deserve. The room starts spinning as Paris opens the envelope and squeals. The deed? You're giving me the house? Oh my God, Daddy. My mother dabs at her eyes with a napkin. We know you'll turn it into something wonderful, dear. Maybe that wellness retreat you've been talking about? I sit there, frozen, as Paris bounces around the table, hugging our parents. 12 years. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. My architecture career put on hold. Relationships sacrificed. All of it handed to my sister like a birthday present. Holly? My mother's voice cuts through the fog. Aren't you going to congratulate your sister? I look up, meeting her eyes. She flinches slightly at whatever she sees in mine. Actually, I say, my voice steady despite the earthquake in my chest. I need to get something for my car. Now? Paris pouts. We haven't even had dinner yet. Trust me, I push back from the table, my chair scraping against those handcrafted floors. You're going to want to see this. As I walk to my car, my hands aren't shaking. They should be, but they're not. I've been preparing for this moment for longer than anyone realizes. My fingers close around the thick manila envelope in my glove compartment, the one labeled property documentation in my careful architect's handwriting. Time to see who really owns this house, I whisper, straightening my spine as I head back inside. Sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. Sometimes it's served with a paper trail and a team of lawyers who know exactly what they're doing. Let's see how well Paris handles this particular inheritance. I stand in the doorway, manila envelope in hand, watching my family's celebration through new eyes. Paris is already on her phone, probably crafting the perfect Instagram post about her unexpected blessing. "Oh good, you're back," my mother says, refilling champagne glasses. "We were just discussing how exactly this property transfer would work," I interrupt, placing the envelope on the table. "Because I have some thoughts on that." Paris barely glances up from her phone. "It's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Daddy's giving me the deed." "Holly," my father warns, recognizing something in my tone, "don't make this difficult." I pull out the first document. "Remember this, Dad? The authorization you signed in 2015 for the new roof? The one that cost $93,000? He waves dismissively. "Of course. You handled all that contractor nonsense. And this one," I continue, laying out another paper. "From 2017, when we had to completely rebuild the east wing. $240,000, plus the permits, plus the materials." My mother's champagne glass freezes halfway to her lips. "What are you getting at?" "Every major renovation required authorization," I explain, my voice steady. "Every time you signed off on the work, you also signed off on something else. A little clause that converted each expense into a secured loan against the property." The room goes silent. Even Paris looks up from her phone. "That's ridiculous," my father sputters. "We never took loans from you." "No, you didn't take them. You authorized them. Every single time you told me to handle it and signed without reading. Every time you said, 'Family helps family,' instead of paying me back. Every dismissive, 'we'll sort it out later,' became legally binding debt against this property." Cole leans forward, suddenly interested. "How much debt are we talking about?" I meet his eyes. $873,000, plus interest. Paris jumps up, her chair tipping backward. "You're lying. Show me those papers." "By all means." I slide them across the table. "My lawyer, Paige, has copies. She's been documenting everything for years. Did you really think I'd pour my entire savings into this place without protecting myself?" "You manipulative bitch," Paris hisses. "You planned this all along." "Language, dear," our mother interjects weakly. "No, Mom, she's right." I lean back, feeling strangely calm. "I did plan this. Every time you praised Paris for her latest failed venture while calling my career boring. Every Christmas I spent fixing this place while she got designer handbags. Every single moment you treated my contributions like they were obligations while treating her existence like a gift." My father stands, his face purple. "We are your parents, and I'm your daughter, the one who's been paying your mortgage for a decade, the one who put her life on hold while you planned to hand everything to Paris." I pull out one final document. "You have 30 days to repay the full amount, or ownership transfers to me. It's all very legal, very binding." "You can't do this," Paris whispers. "Cole and I were going to turn this into a retreat center. We already have investors lined up." I turn to Cole. "Really? Investors for a property you don't own, can't afford, and now know has nearly $1 million in secured debt against it? That seems unwise." He shifts uncomfortably, already distancing himself from Paris. "Smart man." "Holly," my mother tries, reaching for my hand. "We can discuss this as a family. You're just upset." I pull away. "No, Mom, I'm not upset. I'm done. You have 30 days to come up with the money, or you all need to find somewhere else to live." "Where are we supposed to go?" Paris wails. "Not my problem. Maybe try one of those meditation retreats you're always posting about." I stand gathering my documents. "Oh, and Paris? Remember last month when you said I was too ambitious for country living? Turns out you were right. I'm way too ambitious to let anyone steal what's legally mine. My father's voice stops me at the door. You'll regret this. Family is everything. I turn back one last time, taking in their shocked faces, the half-empty champagne glasses, the celebration turned to ash. No, Dad. Family is what you make it, and you made this happen, one signature at a time. The door closes behind me with a satisfying click. In my car, I finally let out a shaky breath. My phone buzzes. A text from Paige. Done? I type back. Just served the papers. You were right about their faces. Her response comes quickly. Remember, don't engage for the next 48 hours. Let them panic. Let them rage. Everything goes through me now. I start the engine, watching lights flick on throughout the house as my family presumably begins their meltdown. 12 years of playing the good daughter, the quiet daughter, the reliable one. Turns out I learned a few things about inheritance along the way. The next morning, I meet Paige at her office, surrounded by the aftermath. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing since last night. Texts from Paris, voicemails from my mother, and increasingly threatening emails from my father. 47 messages, I say, dropping my phone on Paige's desk. A new family record. Paige sorts through a stack of papers, her reading glasses perched on her nose. Any threats of legal action yet? Dad says he's calling his golf buddy who's a judge. I sink into her leather chair. Pretty sure that's not how the legal system works. It's not. She slides a document across her desk. And we've already filed for an emergency injunction preventing any property transfers or modifications until this is resolved. A knock at the door interrupts us. Paige's assistant pokes her head in. Ms. O'Connor is here, the younger one. Paris bursts in before Paige can respond. Mascara streaked down her face. How could you do this to me? To you? I stand, maintaining distance. That's rich, coming from someone who was about to steal 12 years of my work. It wasn't stealing. Dad was giving it to me. She throws her designer bag onto Paige's couch. I need it more than you do. You have your fancy architecture career. Had, I correct her. I put it on hold to restore that house. Remember when I missed your destination wedding in Bali? I was supervising the foundation repairs. Oh my God. That was 3 years ago. Get over it. Paige clears her throat. Ms. O'Connor, if you're here to discuss the property, you'll need legal representation present. Paris whirls on her. You helped her trick us. Those documents were buried in renovation paperwork. Actually, Paige says calmly, they were clearly marked. Your family chose not to read them. There's a difference. A new voice joins the conversation. There certainly is. Jude stands in the doorway, looking exactly as he did 2 years ago when we broke up. Same leather jacket, same knowing smile. What are you doing here? I ask. Paige called. Thought you might need a witness who handled the actual construction contracts. He steps inside, nodding to Paris. Long time no see. Paris flushes. Everyone in the room remembers why Jude and I broke up, the night Paris tried to seduce him at my housewarming party. She failed, but the damage was done. This is ridiculous, Paris says, but her voice wavers. Daddy will fight this. With what money? I ask quietly. The house is mortgaged to the hilt. Your lifestyle brand is hemorrhaging cash. And now Cole's not returning your calls, is he? Her face crumples. How did you... Because Cole called me this morning, offering to testify about your plans to flip the property without permits. Seems he's not interested in a girlfriend with massive debt. Jude whistles low. Damn, Holly. You really did think of everything. I had time. I face my sister. 12 years of watching you take and take while I built and paid and sacrificed. Did you know I turned down a partnership in Singapore because Mom guilted me about leaving the renovation unfinished? That's not my fault. No, but this is. I pull out my phone, showing her the property's financial records. Every penny I put in, every hour I worked, every opportunity I passed up, it's all documented, all legally binding. Paris sinks onto the couch, deflated. What do you want? What's rightfully mine? The house, clear and free. You all have 30 days to either pay me back or move out. We can't possibly. Then start packing. She stands, grabbing her bag. You've changed. You used to be the nice one. No, I correct her. I used to be the quiet one. There's a difference. After she leaves, Jude turns to me. Remember when we joked about doing this? Back when your dad refused to pay for the new plumbing? Wasn't joking. I gather my papers. Thanks for coming. Holly, he catches my arm. You okay? For a moment, I'm tempted to lean into him, to seek comfort in familiar arms. But that's not who I am anymore. I'm fine. I step back. Just finishing what they started. Paige walks me to the elevator. Your parents' lawyer will probably call tomorrow. Remember, everything goes through you. I know. The doors slide open. Think they'll pay? They can't. You know that. This was never about money. No, it wasn't. It was about years of watching Paris get everything while I got whatever was left. About parents who saw my reliability as a resource to exploit. About finally taking back what was mine. The elevator descends, and I check my phone. A text from my mother. We raised you better than this. I type back, no you didn't. I raised myself better than this. That's why I'm winning. Then I block their numbers, one by one, watching the notifications fade to silence. Have you seen this? Paige shoves her iPad across her desk. Paris's latest Instagram post fills the screen. A tearful selfie with a novel-length caption beneath it. My toxic sister is trying to make our entire family homeless, I read aloud. After years of controlling behavior and financial manipulation, she's finally showing her true colors. It's gotten 30,000 likes in 2 hours, Paige says. The comments are colorful. I scroll through them. Gold digger, family destroyer, heartless bitch. I put the iPad down. At least they're being creative. This isn't funny, Holly. She's trying to control the narrative. My phone buzzes. Another message from a blocked number. I've been getting them all week, ever since Paris's post went viral. Old high school friends, distant relatives, even my mother's church group, all telling me what a monster I am. Let her post what she wants, I say. The courts don't care about Instagram followers. Paige's office door opens and her assistant rushes in. Cole's here. He says it's urgent. Cole strides in, looking less polished than usual. We need to talk. About what? I cross my arms. Last I heard, you were helping Paris plan her wellness empire. That was before I knew the whole story. He glances at Paige. Can we speak privately? Paige raises an eyebrow at me. I nod, and she leaves us alone. Paris is planning something, Cole says once the door closes. She's meeting with some sketchy lawyer who specializes in contesting contracts. They're going to claim you coerced your parents, took advantage of their age. I laugh. They signed everything when they were in their 50s. Dad was still running marathons. They're also... He hesitates. They're going through old photos, documents, looking for anything they can use to paint you as unstable. Paris mentioned something about your college therapist? My hands clench. Of course she'd bring that up. I saw a counselor for anxiety after Paris slept with my high school boyfriend the night before prom. Hardly scandalous. Look, Cole runs a hand through his hair. I can help you. I have texts, emails, proof they were planning to flip the property without permits. Paris even talked about dodging taxes through some offshore accounts. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm not an idiot. Paris is toxic. The whole family is toxic. And he pulls out his phone. I recorded some conversations that might interest your lawyer. I study him. What's in it for you? Protection. When this blows up, and it will, I don't want to be collateral damage. I've got my own business to think about. Before I can respond, shouting erupts in the outer office. Paris's voice carries through the door. Where is she? I know she's in there with him. The door flies open. Paris stands there, mascara running again, but this time from rage rather than tears. You backstabbing piece of shit. She lunges at Cole. I step between them. Paris, stop. Don't touch me. She shoves me hard. I stumble back against Paige's desk. First my house, now my boyfriend. Your house? The words explode out of me. The house I paid for? The house I rebuilt while you were busy becoming an influencer? Tell me, how many followers does it take to pay a mortgage? Girls! Our mother appears in the doorway. This is beneath us. Holly, please, let's discuss this like family. Like family? I straighten up. Like when you discussed giving my house to Paris? Or like when you discussed my future without me? I'm your mother. No. My voice cuts through the room. You're a woman who had 2 daughters and only loved one of them. The rest is just paperwork. Paris gasps. Our mother's face goes white. Ms. O'Connor, Paige returns, security guard in tow. You and your daughter need to leave. Now. As they're escorted out, Paris turns back. You'll regret this. Everyone in town knows what you did. Good luck living with yourself. The door closes on her threats. Cole whistles low. Damn. Send whatever evidence you have to Paige. I gather my things. And Cole? If this is some kind of game, it's not. He heads for the door. Some of us know how to recognize a sinking ship. Later that night, I sit in my apartment, scrolling through the social media damage. Paris has posted 3 more times, each caption more dramatic than the last. Local Facebook groups are buzzing with speculation. My contractor review page is flooded with 1-star ratings. My phone lights up. Jude calling. You okay? He asks when I answer. I saw Paris's posts. I'm fine. I'm not, but I'm getting better at faking it. No, you're not. He pauses. Want to grab a drink? No strings, no drama. Just a friend who knows the whole story. I should say no. Should keep my distance. Stay focused. 1 drink, I agree. And Jude? Thanks for not believing her version. I was there, remember? I saw what they did to you. His voice softens. Sometimes the bad guy in the story is the one telling everyone else they're good. I hang up, staring at my reflection in the dark window. Paris is right about one thing. Everyone in town is talking about what I did, but nobody's talking about what they did to make me do it. The bar is quiet for a Thursday night. Jude sits across from me, 2 untouched beers between us, as I scroll through the latest batch of hate mail on my phone. You need to stop reading those, he says, gently pulling the phone from my hands. It's not helping. I know, but a sharp pain shoots through my temple. These stress headaches are getting worse. But nothing. You're torturing yourself. He slides my beer closer. Talk to me instead. How are you really doing? Before I can answer, my phone rings. My mother's number, from a new account I haven't blocked yet. Don't, Jude starts, but I'm already answering. What do you want, Mom? Holly, please. Her voice sounds strained. I'm at the emergency room. They're saying it's a panic attack. Could you... Which hospital? Jude's eyes widen as I grab my coat. Holly, wait. I have to go. I throw some cash on the table. She's at the ER. And that's your problem because she's still my mother. The words taste bitter in my mouth. 20 minutes later, I find her in the waiting room, looking smaller than I've ever seen her. No makeup, wearing what looks like pajamas under her coat. Where's Dad? I ask, sitting beside her. At home. He doesn't know I'm here. She wrings her hands in her lap. I couldn't breathe. Kept thinking about losing everything. About what people are saying. You mean what Paris is saying? Or what you've been saying about me? A nurse calls her name before she can respond. As we follow him to an examination room, I notice her hands shaking. Blood pressure's quite elevated, the nurse notes. Have you been under unusual stress? My mother laughs weakly. You could say that. Once we're alone, she turns to me. The house. It was supposed to fix everything. Give Paris stability. Give your father his dream retirement. And what about my dreams? The words escape before I can stop them. Did those ever matter? Of course they did. But you were always so capable, so independent. Paris needs to grow up. I stand, pacing the small room. And you need to stop enabling her. I'm trying to protect her. From what? Reality? Consequences? When's the last time Paris paid her own bills? Had a real job? Not everyone can be like you, she snaps. So perfect, so self-sufficient. I had to be. The force of my shout surprises us both. Every time Paris failed, who picked up the pieces? Every time she needed bailing out, whose savings got drained? Who spent 12 years fixing that house while Paris posted selfies and called herself an entrepreneur? My mother's face crumples. I just wanted both my daughters to be happy. No, you wanted Paris to be happy. You wanted me to make that happen. The monitor beeps as her heart rate spikes. Mrs. O'Connor? The nurse returns. Let's get you something to help you relax. The drive home is silent. I take the long route, past the house, my house. Lights burn in every window. Dad's car is in the driveway, next to Paris's new SUV that I'm sure she can't afford. They're probably worried about you, I say. They're probably drinking. My mother's voice is flat. Your father's been doing that a lot lately. I grip the steering wheel tighter. That's not my problem anymore. No? She turns to me. Then why did you come tonight? Because... I swallow hard. Because I'm not like you. I don't abandon family when they're inconvenient. Is that what you think we did to you? Isn't it? You literally tried to give away my investment, my work, my future, to Paris. Again. Like always. She's quiet for a long moment. We never meant to hurt you. That's worse, Mom. You never even considered me enough to realize you were hurting me. I pull into their driveway. Paris appears at the window, then disappears, probably calling Dad. 23 days, I say, as my mother unbuckles her seatbelt. That's how long you have to figure out your next move. I won't back down. I know. She opens the door, then pauses. You know what the worst part is? You learned this from us. This coldness, this ability to hurt family. We taught you that. No, Mom. You taught me that family isn't about blood or obligation. It's about choices. I meet her eyes. And I'm choosing myself this time. She walks away, shoulders bent. Through the window, I see Paris rush to her, Dad appearing with a glass in his hand. The perfect family portrait, framed in warm light. I drive away before the familiar ache can settle in my chest. My phone buzzes, Jude checking in. I'm okay, I text back. But I think I finally understand something. What's that? Sometimes winning feels exactly like losing. The courthouse is colder than I expected. Paris sits across the aisle with her new lawyer, a sharp-faced woman who keeps whispering in her ear. My parents occupy the row behind her, Dad still wearing his golf clothes, like this hearing is just an inconvenient detour in his day. Paige arranges documents on our table. Remember, let me do the talking, no matter what they say. Even if they lie, especially if they lie. She straightens her jacket. That's what I'm here for. The judge enters, and we all rise. He's younger than I expected, with tired eyes that scan the room before landing on our paperwork. Quite a family matter we have here, he says, adjusting his glasses. Counsel, proceed. Paris's lawyer stands. Your Honor, we're seeking an emergency injunction against these predatory contracts. My client's sister took advantage of their elderly parents. Objection, Paige interrupts. The defendants were in their early 50s when these agreements were signed. Both were fully employed and mentally competent. The contracts were hidden in renovation paperwork. They were clearly marked and legally executed. We have video evidence of multiple signing sessions where the terms were explicitly discussed. My head snaps up. This is news to me. Paige gives me a slight nod. Of course she had backup plans. Furthermore, she continues, pulling out a tablet, we have recent evidence of the defendant's intent to commit fraud. Paris goes pale. Cole's recordings. The judge leans forward. Proceed. Paige plays the audio. Paris's voice fills the courtroom, discussing offshore accounts and tax evasion schemes. My father cursing about finding loopholes around permits. Your Honor, Paris's lawyer stammers, these recordings were obtained legally in a two-party consent state, Paige finishes. We have more. That's enough. The judge holds up his hand. I've seen the contracts. They're valid. I've heard the recordings. They're troubling. He looks at my family. The plaintiff's claim stands. You have the remainder of the 30 days to settle the debt or vacate the property. But it's our home. Paris jumps up. She's trying to destroy our family. Ms. O'Connor, the judge's voice sharpens. The only thing being destroyed here is your credibility. These contracts represent legitimate debt. Your sister invested significant personal resources into this property. The law's clear. My mother starts crying softly. Dad just stares straight ahead, jaw clenched. We're done here. The judge gathers his papers. Counsel, draw up the enforcement orders. As people start filing out, Cole appears at the back of the courtroom. Paris sees him and breaks. You! She lunges toward him. You recorded me? You betrayed me? Like you betrayed your sister? He steps back. I learned from the best, babe. Security moves between them as Paris dissolves into tears. My mother rushes to comfort her, shooting me a look of pure venom. Holly! My father's voice stops me at the door. You've won. Are you happy now? I turn slowly. Was I supposed to be happy when you gave my house to Paris? It wasn't your house. No? I pull out my phone, open my banking app. Here's every transfer I made for the past 12 years. $873,000. My dollars, my house. We're your parents. And I'm your daughter, the one who actually earned something instead of just expecting it to be handed to her. I put my phone away. 18 days left, Dad. Tick-tock. Outside, Jude waits by my car. How'd it go? We won? The words feel hollow. They have to leave. Then why do you look like you lost? Because I watch my family emerge from the courthouse, Paris still crying, my mother supporting her, my father bringing up the rear with slumped shoulders, because I thought winning would feel different. Different how? I don't know. Better. More satisfying. I unlock my car. Instead, I just feel human, he suggests. Because despite everything, they're still your family? No. I straighten my spine. They're just people who taught me exactly what I don't want to be. Jude studies me for a moment. Want to grab lunch? Can't. Meeting with the realtor. Once they're out, I'm listing the house. You're selling it? After everything? I shake my head. Converting it into a high-end wedding venue. I allow myself a small smile. The kind Paris always dreamed of running. Damn. He whistles low. That's cold. No. I get in my car. That's business. They taught me that too. As I drive away, I catch a final glimpse of my family in the rearview mirror, huddled together, diminished, finally facing consequences. Paris sees me looking and raises her middle finger. Some things never change. But I have. And that's worth more than any house. Moving day arrives with a whimper, not a bang. I stand in the empty kitchen, watching the last of their possessions disappear into rented trucks and borrowed cars. They didn't fight at the end. Maybe they couldn't afford to. Or maybe they finally ran out of anger. My phone buzzes. Page. All clear on the legal front. They signed the final papers this morning. Any last-minute surprises? Actually, yes. She pauses. Your father tried to transfer some assets offshore last week. Paris's jewelry, some art pieces, would have violated the agreement. My stomach tightens. And? And I caught it. We could press charges for attempted fraud. I watch my mother carefully wrapping her china in the driveway, each piece a memory I'm choosing not to share. No, let it go. You sure? After everything I'm sure. I hang up as Paris appears in the doorway. Came to gloat? She asks, arms crossed. Came to make sure you don't accidentally take anything that's now legally mine. She laughs bitterly. God, listen to yourself. Legally mine. You sound like Dad's lawyer. Better than sounding like his victim. That hits home. She flinches, then rallies. You know what your problem is, Holly. You think being right makes you good. No. I meet her eyes. I think being honest makes me right. There's a difference. Whatever helps you sleep at night. She turns to leave, then stops. Cole's opening his own wellness retreat, in the Hamptons. He's already got investors. Good for him. He asked me to be his partner. Said he learned from the best about how to secure funding. Her smile is razor sharp. Guess we both learned from you, sis. After she leaves, I walk through the house. My house, finally and completely. The rooms echo with emptiness, but it's a clean kind of empty. Like after surgery, when the pain means healing. My phone rings again. Jude. They gone? Almost. I watch another box disappear into a truck. Want to help me celebrate? Can't. But I have news. He sounds nervous. Remember that architecture firm in Singapore? The one you turned down? My heart skips. What about them? They're expanding, looking for a partner to head their historical renovation division. I might have mentioned your name. Jude, just think about it. You've got nothing holding you here now. He's right. The house can run itself as a venue with the right management team. My parents are moving to Florida, to some condo Paris found them. All my roots have been pulled up, ready for replanting. I'll think about it. That's my girl. He catches himself. Sorry, I didn't mean... It's okay. And surprisingly, it is. Thanks, Jude, for everything. A throat clears behind me. My mother stands there, looking small and old in a way I've never noticed before. Your father's waiting in the car, she says. I needed to give you something. She holds out an envelope. Not the house deed this time, just a simple white envelope with my name on it. What's this? Open it after we're gone. She steps forward like she might hug me, then thinks better of it. You were always the strong one, Holly. I'm sorry we made you be strong alone. She hurries away before I can respond. I watch their car pull out of the driveway for the last time, Paris following in her SUV, the moving trucks bringing up the rear. The envelope contains a single sheet of paper, a photograph I've never seen before. In it, I may be 4 years old, standing on a step stool in this very kitchen, helping my mother bake cookies. We're both laughing, covered in flour, caught in a moment before expectations and disappointments carved their paths between us. On the back, in my mother's handwriting, you were happy once. I hope you can be again. I sink into a kitchen chair, the photo trembling in my hands. My phone lights up with a text from Paige. Singapore firm wants to video chat tomorrow. You interested? Through the window, I can see the garden where Paris used to host her Instagram photo shoots. The garage where Dad taught me about power tools. The porch where Mom used to read magazines on summer evenings. All those memories, good and bad, built into these walls like the insulation I installed myself. I text back. Set it up. Then I take the photo and pin it to the kitchen bulletin board. not to remember what I lost, but to remind myself what I found: strength, independence, and the courage to build something new. Even if I had to tear everything down first, the first wedding at the estate brings unexpected tears to my eyes. Not from emotion, from the sheer vindication of seeing my vision come to life. The historic ballroom sparkles with carefully restored chandeliers, each crystal cleaned by hand during those long years of renovation. "It's beautiful," Paige says, adjusting her cocktail dress. "You're sure about leaving all this? The management team is solid. Besides," I check my phone, where the Singapore contract waits for my signature. Some dreams are worth chasing across oceans. The bride and groom take their first dance as my staff moves with practiced precision. Everything perfect, everything planned. Just like my revenge. My phone buzzes. Paris posting on Instagram again. Her latest venture failed spectacularly after Cole's Hamptons retreat turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. He's facing charges. She's facing reality, finally. "Ms. Holly?" Maria, my head coordinator, approaches. "There's someone asking for you at the gate. Says she's family?" My mother. Of course she'd come today. I find her by the iron gates, looking lost in a department store dress. "This is quite something," she says, gesturing at the transformed estate. "It's a business." I don't open the gate. A successful one. "So I've heard. Your father saw the write-up in the business journal." She clutches her purse tighter. "Paris is moving back home. To Florida? She needs time to regroup." "You mean recover from Cole's scam?" "I warned her about him." "I know." She looks at me directly for the first time. "You seem to know a lot of things we didn't want to hear." The string quartet starts playing inside. Bach. Not the usual wedding standards. My choice. "Why are you here, Mom?" "I saw online that you're moving to Singapore." She pulls an envelope from her purse. "I wanted to give you this before you left." Not another photo. A check. "It's not much," she continues. "Just my inheritance from your grandmother. I've been saving it." "For Paris?" "For emergencies." She pushes it through the gate. "Consider it a down payment on all the money we owe you." I look at the check. $50,000. A fraction of what they owe, but more than I ever expected to see. "Keep it," I say. "Put it toward Paris's next fresh start. She'll need it more than me." "Holly, I'm not being noble, Mom. I'm being honest. I don't need your money anymore. I never did." I gesture at the estate. "I built this. Me. Without your help. Without your approval. Without your love." She flinches at the last word. "Paris will always need you," I continue. "That's what you trained her for. But me?" I straighten my shoulders. "I trained myself for something else. To be alone. To be whole." Inside, the music swells. Another perfect moment for someone else's perfect day. "Goodbye, Mom." I turn away, then stop. "Oh, and if Paris wants to know how I did it, how I built something real instead of just dreaming about it, tell her it's simple. I stopped waiting for someone else's permission to succeed." Back inside, Jude waits with 2 champagne glasses. "Your mother?" "Last-minute wedding gift." I take a glass. One I returned. "You okay?" "Better than okay." I watch the bride and groom, young and hopeful and beginning. I used to think revenge would feel like winning, but it doesn't. No, it feels like freedom. My phone buzzes one last time. The Singapore firm confirming my flight next week. Across the ballroom, Maria orchestrates the staff with gentle precision, exactly as I trained her. The estate will run perfectly without me. "Dance with me?" Jude holds out his hand. "For old time's sake?" "No." I smile to soften the rejection. Some old times are better left in the past. I walk onto the balcony overlooking the gardens. The same view that captivated my parents 12 years ago, that Paris wanted to turn into a yoga lawn, that I protected and preserved through sheer force of will. Below, my mother still stands at the gate, watching. I raise my champagne glass in a silent toast. Not to reconciliation, some bridges stay burned, but to lessons learned on both sides. She nods once, understanding, then walks away into the gathering dark. I turn back to the party, to the joy and light and music. Tomorrow I'll pack for Singapore. Tonight I'll celebrate not what I lost, but what I found. The strength to build something beautiful from the ashes of betrayal. The house stands solid behind me, no longer a symbol of what was taken, but of what I took back. Some people inherit houses. Others inherit strength. I chose strength,